Scotland's strongest man under 120 kilo. Just went down last weekend. We're going to look at the events, but before that I'll give you a little bit of a rundown. So last year competed in this category for the first time and came fourth, qualified for the Brits, went to the Brits. It was amazing, really good. Was really hoping to get there again this year. It did not happen. I came 10th place in this one, which a bit gutted about the placement and that I won't get to go to Brits this year, but I'm happy with my performance. So I performed better than I have done before. Got a few PBs, so ultimately this is nothing to complain about. Really happy with how I performed. I've done better than I've done before. I was lighter than I was last year. I've trained differently than what I have done previously. My training is better. What I wanted to get out of this one ultimately, besides qualifying, was to be more recoverable, for my cardio to be better, so that I wasn't gassed in the middle of an event and I could recover really fast between events. Done all that really well, and it paid off inside events and in between events. I was good to go again, and then after it as well, after the events, normally I'm absolutely ruined for 4 days after a comp. This one, I mean, although I'm still fatigued and recovering a little bit, I was training again Monday. The comp was on Saturday, albeit a little bit lighter, but I'm not anywhere near as broken as what I have been in previous comps. So that's a win in itself. And now we just get ready for the next comp. So let's look at the events. So going into this, the order of events was supposed to be bench, farmers, sandbag to shoulder, sandbag toss, deadlifts. Now already deadlifts right at the end, axle deadlifts as well, was going to be brutal. There was changes when we got there on the day, so the deadlift ended up being first, which was fine. I mean, I was prepared for it to be last, which was going to be pretty grueling. It ended up being first, which was absolutely fine. The only thing I would say is I was looking forward to bench being the first one, just because it's a nice easy one. It's not explosive. You're lying down on a bench and it doesn't really, I don't feel that it takes away from any other event, whereas having an event before it would perhaps have fatigue playing into that, but it wasn't the case. It was absolutely fine. Done great on bench, so ultimately there was nothing to complain about. You have to know that going into a comp like this, there could be changes, could be rule changes, there could be event changes, weight changes. You have to expect that. So it was just something that happened. So deadlift went first, absolutely fine. Got warmed up for the deadlifts. Here we go. So the deadlifts was, you had the option of a 240 and a 280 kilo axle deadlift, and you could jump between the two as much as you wanted in the time frame. We had a 75-second time to get these done, as many reps as possible. Any number done on the heavier deadlift nulled out any reps done on the lower deadlift, but you could jump between. So if two people got 2 reps on the 280 and one of the competitors got 1 rep on the 240 in addition to that, then they would take the win. So it was worth jumping down after you finished on the heavy axle and getting some additional reps on the lighter axle. And so that's what I've done. So my plan going into this was to rep out the 280 for as many as I could, and then jump straight onto the 240 bar and get as many reps on there as I could before the time ran out. So I was really happy that I didn't gas out towards the end. My hamstrings were killing, so I took a little break at one point, but it was enough to lower my heart rate down, sort my breathing out, jump back up and get another 2 reps in. So I got 3 reps at the 280 axle, which I'm pretty happy about. I think that is a PB unsuited. It's definitely a PB. And then knew that it was time. I was getting really shaky on that last lift, so jumped down to the 240 bar and got in another 5 reps, which I was really happy about. So quite a few pulls in there. 75 seconds of deadlift, and it's quite a lengthy time to deadlift for. Yeah. Event 2 was the bench. So in training I had gotten 6 reps, just 6 reps and they were not paused at all at the bottom. I was just repping it out for as much as I could. It was a very struggled 6th rep. So really happy to, actually lost count in the middle of this, and so wasn't sure actually how much I was pressing. It was 140 kilo bench press, 4 reps. We got the down command and we got the press command once it had touched chest and was clearly dead. So yeah, it moved really smooth, really happy how this went. It felt really good, it moved really well, and that last rep, that 6th rep, was fine. It wasn't as much of a struggle as it had been in training. I did go for the 7th, didn't get it. Maybe could have fought a little bit harder, but still was happy with the 6. Event 3, farmers, 130 kilo farmers handles per hand. Now, I've done this in training, I've done this in previous comps, been absolutely fine. It's kind of a love-hate relationship. I've broken my foot on farmers, I've done really well on farmers, I've done shit. It just really depends on the day, I think. In training, it was feeling okay. It was getting the 130 for a few lengths. I'd done 145 per hand for a length in training as well, so I knew that I could carry the weight. Now these farmers handles had 0 knurling on them, super slidey, which was a bit annoying because I've been training with farmers with knurling on, so I knew I could grip and hold on to the knurling handles. Come these, they felt really heavy. I did absolute shite compared to what I thought I was going to do this. I was hoping for about 4 lengths. I dropped it on the first run, just came completely out of my grip. Now, I did get the opportunity to do this again on the other side because there were some opinions that those farmers were a bit slippier, harder to handle than the other lane. I chose not to. I reckon I would have needed about 40 metres to make a difference to the scoreboard anyway, and I was already resigned to the fact that it was a shit event. It was fine, it happened, I was going to move on. There was still another 2 events to go, so I did not go in for a second attempt at this and just let it be, and took the lesson from it. Event number 5, sandbag toss. So I don't have the equipment to be able to train this at our gym, so what I had been doing in training was a banded kettlebell swings and heavy kettlebell swings, so that I had the same movement. I had the skill work, the pick up, step back and swing movement, and so I felt pretty good for it. I have done bag toss before at 2 different comps, and both times I never completed the run, and I had a couple that hit the bar or just didn't go near the bar at all. It was a bit all over the shop. So I was super happy to get in. I was really confident going into this. I had it right in my head how it was going to go, and I just wanted to get through every bag without fault all the way through, and I did. So all 5 bags went clear over, absolutely fine. I could pick up more time on this. On the last bag, I settled and got right. It was the right thing to do at the time, because if I had swung straight away, I likely wouldn't have had the right line to throw that clean over the bar, and would have wasted even more time. So I did take my time on the last bag. I was conscious not to look back at the bag. I was relying on the crowd's reaction and the commentator and people shouting whether it went over or not. And there was no shouts that sounded negative, so I just kept going. It was relatively quick time, got all 5 bags in a row, really happy with that performance. Event 5, the last event, 120 kilo sandbag to shoulder. This went relatively well in training. It was one that I know that if I don't get that explosive movement and get it right up to the shoulder quite high, I really struggle with kind of hoofing it up the front of the body. So I wanted to be explosive all the way through this. I'd gotten 6 reps before in training, but they were very sketchy. But it felt good in my head. Actually did not go very well in the warm-ups before this with a different bag, but I still had it in my head that with the heavier weight it would move the way that I was hoping it would, and it did. Went all in on it, moved really fast. Got the first three were super quick, just popped off the floor onto the hips, big explosion up, caught it on the shoulder very nicely, hand off, got the drop signal, and went on to the next one. Fourth rep was fine as well, starting to slow down a little bit. Fifth rep was getting a little bit of a struggle. I could feel myself slowing down. I was getting a bit more out of breath, and the explosive movement from the hips was starting to slow as well, which was meaning it was harder to catch on the top. Now I knew that I had plenty of time, so stepped back and got my breathing under control, got the heart rate down again, which again is thanks to the different style of training, and was able to crack out that sixth and last rep in plenty of time. And I did catch that one a bit lower down, but from what I know in training, doing lots of little small movements was never going to get it there for me, so I had quite a big dip, really felt the depth on it, and tried to explode up, and it only took that one shove to get it right on top of the shoulder, get the rep and put it down. I was really happy with the rep count on that.